All right, this is not too complicated. All you're doing here is you're taking this and then multiplying by this and then multiplying by this and putting it in those boxes. So 3 times x is 3x, and 3 times 11 is negative, or 3 times negative 11 is negative 33. And then you're just adding these two together. And you don't know what x is, so your final answer just looks like 3x minus 33. And it's the same thing down here. Rather than multiplying this times this and this times this, you're setting it up in these boxes. So negative 4 times 2x is negative 8x. And then negative 4 times 5 is negative 20. And then you're just adding those two together. So negative 8x minus 20. Okay, these are similar to the ones where we set them up in the boxes and multiplied them. It's just that we're doing it without going to the box method. We're just doing the multiplication. So I'll show you a couple of those. So for this one, you do the 6x times the 3x, then the 6x again times the 5y, and the 6x again times the negative 4. Because all this is in parentheses, the 6x is times this whole entire thing. So we have to make sure we distribute that to each one of those. So what that looks like is 6x times 3x is 18x squared. 6x times 5y is 30xy. And 6x times negative 4 is minus 24x. And that is your answer right there. This one's the exact same thing, only it looks a little different because you've got a numerator and a denominator. This is the same thing as 1/3 times 9a minus 3. So you can do this the exact same way. 1/3 times 9 is 9/3, but 9 divided by 3 is just 3. So 3a. And then 1/3 times negative 3 is just negative 3/3, but negative 3/3 is negative 1. So that's your answer there. Another way to do this one is to look at the denominator, since it's a single number, and if you can take the same thing out of that denominator and both of these numbers up here, then you can divide it out that way. So each of those numbers, the 9, the negative 3, and the 3 down there, are all divisible by 3. So this will become a 1, this will become a 1, and this will become a 3. And you rewrite that out as 3a minus 1 over 1. And since it's over 1, it's just, you don't have to write the over 1. It's just the same thing as that. Okay, so for these problems, all you're doing is taking that x, the 2/5, the 2/5 right here, okay, and plugging it in for the x right there and right there. So that ends up being 3.5 times 2/5 minus 5 1/3 times 2/5. Sorry, that line doesn't mean anything. For me, it's easier to put this into an improper fraction. So 3.5 is the same thing as 7/2, and then x is 2/5. 5 1/3 is the same thing as 16/3, and then times x, which is 2/5. Now, you multiply that out, and that will give you 7/5 minus 32/15. And then you have to find a common denominator, which can be 15. So 7/5 would turn into 21/15. And then you do that subtraction. So 21 minus 32 is negative 11/15. And that would be your answer for number 2. If you end up with a bigger number on top, an improper fraction, you want to change it back to a mixed number because the original problem asked the question with mixed numbers in it.